Hi and welcome to my Facefilter tutorial at the Digital Feminism Festival. Tonight we're going to go through how I did the festival filter called Hot Mess. And in the video tutorial I'll be explaining all the steps, step by step, from downloading and installing the program up to the moment when you publish it. It's going to take 45 minutes. It's going to probably take longer in case you're an absolute beginner. And yes, here's the general remark for absolute beginners. You're not going to be able to really work with Spark AR after doing this one tutorial. Be patient and just try and experiment. I guess that's how it works. And have fun. Without fun, it's not going to work. So before we start, what are these face masks at all? I guess all of us had experience with Instagram face filters before, and what we often forget is that behind this fun element there is a technology. And this technology is called augmented reality, and this technology, especially in the case of the face masks, is called face recognition. We love face masks, but we do not like face recognition. I think it's very important in the process of working with this filter to reflect on what is that you're actually doing, and how crazy it is that there is a software that can track your eyes, the exact direction of what you're looking at. And this technology is available for everybody. What is Spark AR? Spark AR stands for augmented reality. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality, which are abbreviated augmented reality AR, virtual reality as VR, and mixed reality as XR. There is a difference, and I'll make a really short excursus into this. The virtual reality we all kind of know, we've heard about it. It's when you put on the glasses on your head and you don't see anything from the outer world anymore, and you're making a complete experience in some place other than where your body is. Mixed reality is when you put on the glasses, but these glasses are transparent. You still see the real world, but additionally, you see holograms that are being placed into the world in your view. And this is done by this little monitor that is transparent. Augmented reality works with smartphones and tablets through the camera of your gadget, and it makes this impression that there is something else between the camera and the reality. And you're augmenting the reality with this technology. Before we start, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that you really need to download assets that are prepared for you for this tutorial. On the screen you can see the link where you can download it. Please download it, because otherwise it might get difficult for you to follow up with the tutorial. What are assets? Assets are your assets, something that you have and that allows you to build the project. So, here is the assets folder, and let's look at the structure. In this folder you can see there is a folder called environment. The environment is the Hdr image. We're going to use it to allow the program imagine that it is in some space. In this case it's a small studio. Allowing it to imagine that it's in a space works for the reflections, because as you know, all things reflect, and we're working with the 3D software, and light and reflections are very important to make it look realistic. The next thing, I'm going to go into the object. So fireball is what I call, is this big ball which you are inside of that is appearing when you open your mouth. Head occluder is a standard model. It's the helmet actually. Then there is this object, hot mess, and the tube. Tubes we're going to use for the eyes. And yeah, these were the objects, the textures. So here we have Fire 1 and Fire 2. These are frames. These are just photos, as you can see. This is a frame animation, so-called. So if I play these pictures one after another, it's going to appear as if it's animated. And I did these frames via taking a video of a burning fire and loading it into Photoshop, and then editing it a little bit color-wise, and then exporting it as frames. This is basically our burning texture. So this is Fire 1, Fire 2 is the same video of the fire that I edited in Photoshop, just in different color. The green eyes is also a PNG image that we've created in Photoshop, and we're going to put on the face exactly on the spot where the eyes are supposed to be. So we have this effect. This is an icon. We're not going to use it in the project itself, but we're going to need this thing to upload it to Instagram. I'm going to get to all those assets within the tutorial for each specific case, so don't worry about remembering everything. Face assets are the assets that you can download from SparkAR website, and this is something that's been created for you in advance to help you work with the program. When you continue working with SparkAR later, you're going to work with this a lot. These are references, so that when you're trying to make a makeup, you need this face reference to work with it in the programs like Photoshop to create your mask. That's it. These were the face assets. And here's a list of the links where I downloaded some of the assets that I did not create myself. And these are great resources, they're for free, and if you're looking for something, it's very easy to use already produced images. But please pay attention to the copyright and just don't go to internet and download any picture you like, because it's gonna violate people's copyrights. I guess that's it, and I guess we're gonna start! Sorry for this long introduction. You can see that I created a fake Facebook account and a fake Instagram account for this tutorial and linked them. So it's very important before you start, make sure that you have access to your Facebook account, that you have access to your Instagram account, and none of this is blocked, and your Instagram is linked with your Facebook. Otherwise you won't be able to upload it to Instagram, and that you download the SparkAR. So here I'm logging in, I'm just like showing you the steps. You download the SparkAR, and then you really need to log in into SparkAR with your Facebook account, otherwise it's not going to work. Here we're creating a blank project because we want to do things like a pro. We want to start with a blank, but actually otherwise you can just try out all presets. So we create a new project, we want to save it into a special place because the project structure will be that you save it, and then it's going to create folders with your assets. You're going to organize the files that you're using in the program into a nice way, so you also want to save it because you don't want to lose your project. The scene is the place where you add objects that are going to be part of your scene that eventually will be in the Instagram filter. This is where you construct it. This is your home. The assets is a folder where you collect your files that you're using to create the scenes. This is where you're going to have your objects, your materials, your textures, animated textures, all of it going to be there. Here we have a view. There are standard faces offered from Instagram that you can use for creating your filter if you don't have a webcam. This button you press in case you want to use your own face. If not, then choose one of the preset faces. Now we're gonna get into making the project. We're gonna add the face tracker because we're gonna work with the technology of face tracking. So basically our filter is going to be reacting to the mouth opening, and we want it to be associated and attached to the face, so that's why we need this face tracker, and it works kind of automatically. So we add a face tracker, and the face tracker works with face mesh. You need a face mesh to be attached to the face tracker, because your face mesh is how you do all those makeups or tattoos or all sorts of things that are looking like your skin. Anyway, you want the face mesh. You take the face mesh. Now it looks like it has this check thing going on. It's like it means that you have no material. It's just a standard thing, and you need a material to cover this face, right, to make it look different. So you create new material. It automatically creates new material for you, and it saves it into the assets folder. In the assets folder you press the material, and then you start changing the type of the shader, and there is this standard shader called retouching, and here you really can't do anything. You can't really do much. You can just say how smooth you want your skin. And I decided to do kind of half smooth skin. It's also standard. But you can say you put it to 0. If you want to put it to 0, you just want to delete this retouch thing, because if it's 0, it's not going to do anything. So the next thing we want to do will be giving it green eyes, like having this makeup. So for this, we're going to add another face mesh. We attach it again. We parent it to the face tracker. Parenting means like a parent that is like a tree, you know, and the trunk of the tree is a parent, and our face meshes are the branches. So you want to attach it to the face tracker so it all kind of sticks together. And on this face mesh, we're going to put our makeup. And we call it green eyes. It's important that we name things, otherwise we get lost. So here, again, the same thing. We look at this, we go into the face mesh. We want to create a new material. So because we don't want to use the retouch material, but since we created one already, we've been adding, like you could add it, but we want a new one because we want it to be green eyes. Oh, I forgot to rename the materials. So now I'm just going to shortly rename it to not get lost. The first one was the retouch. Second is the other green eyes. So now we're going to be editing the green eyes material. It comes out with this shader type standard, and the first thing we want to do is we go to the diffuse and to the texture, and we want to add new texture. And this new texture is either in the folder, or you can see how I created it in Photoshop. If you don't want to see this, you can just like jump a couple minutes. If you want to create any kind of makeup or tattoos or anything on the face that looks like skin, that is as close to the face as skin, this is a routine you would want to use. You open Photoshop, you create a blank image, 500 to 500 pixels. So we go now to this assets folder, and we are going into the face assets, which are the assets from Instagram. And what we want to go into the textures folder, and we want to take the face mesh file and drop it onto the Photoshop file. So this is our face reference. So we know that how the Instagram mask attaches makeup or anything that you approximately can understand where things gonna land when you draw, or that you can adjust it. But you want it to be a square file, 500 to 500. For our green makeup, green eyes, that's what I want. I want to kind of blur the brush and, you know, paint a little bit around the eyes, but feel free to do here anything you want. And yeah, that's at least what I did. I also tried many different things. Yeah, I guess it's better if it is a little bit smaller. Yeah, and now I want to save it on transparent background. That's important that you're going to save it in PNG, save for web, so you can have this very small size, which is important for an Instagram filter because it can't handle files over 3 megabytes, I think. And yeah, you want to keep everything very small. That's why we need Photoshop. And saving it in the Save for Web going to make it very small, and you're going to keep your transparency so you can put it on the face mesh and you're going to have color only on the eyes. So here we go. We add new texture. Now we take our created green eyes that we just made in Photoshop, and immediately you see it's there. So you might want to adjust the render or rendering option, blend mode. You want to put the blend mode in screen, and then you want to adjust the opacity. Yeah, and here you see this little wheel. It means that it's uploading your texture, the photo, that is just like processing this file that you just uploaded. The next one we want to create is a little glow on the face, so it doesn't look so natural, it looks more sci-fi-ish. And for this we're going to create a texture that is glowing your skin in blue. That's how we're going to make it. So creative face mesh, parent to the face tracker, change the order of things as it's on the screen because it's going to look better like this because things are overlaying. Then we create a new material for this glow skin blue, and again we want to edit this material. We want to rename it for already known reasons. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna change the color of it because it's gonna overlay differently. Here we're adding blue because we want it to be blue, but now it's not yet that transparent. I mean, it has to become transparent, and it will. Yeah, the next thing we want to add will be the blend mode. And see, ta-da! Add. It gets this bluish, kind of bluish, greeny flare and those green eyes, and kind of repeats the colors of the flame and looks nice together. So I think now here I'm showing how you're going to download the assets, because I just want to make this reference again. Those files are in the folder, but here, yeah, if you go into that part of the menu and click it, then yeah, you're going to get redirected here, and there. This is where you can download, because as next we're going to use this face asset reference quite a bit. What we need now, we're going to create the helm. And the helm we're going to be creating with this head occluder. We choose the head occluder. It's a standard, as I said, standard 3D model for editing / creating face filter from Instagram. And I took this OBJ file, head occluder OBJ, and I'm going to make it a little smaller so it fits the head. Because what we want it to become a helmet, which is covering the head, so when it's visible you can't see the face. That was the plan. So you can also anonymous, and you could be anybody if you don't open your mouth. On the side you can always press play and pause to stop the video, because sometimes it's very annoying. So what we're going to do now, after we change the size of the occluder, we're going to rename it into a helmet so we don't get confused. Okay, and now we're doing again the same thing. We create material for this 3D object, and we also go to the assets and look at the head occluder and delete its standard material. It's just for the sake of order. I like to take away things that I don't use in the project because it gets messy very fast. So we delete the head occluder material because we're just not going to use it, and we create the new material for the head occluder, and we call this new material fire animation, because this is going to be a material that is going to be on the helmet, or going to be the helmet, and this material going to be burning. So this is how we change. We go to the shader type, you choose physically based, and then you change the color to the blue. Oh, this is what I chose because it kind of works well with this texture that I'm using. This is a color pattern I'm navigating in: yellow, green, blue. I mean, I was kind of inspired by the stones and green, blue fires and power and kind of, melting and being hot and cold at the same time. Yeah, that's my color choice, but you can choose any other color and choose any other pattern too. The next step, after we've chosen the color we like and we want, is that we create a new animation sequence, and it's going to be a texture that is animated. As you can see in the assets, it created a new folder which is called animation sequences, and there is a new animation sequence, and we're going to call it fire animation 1. And now we want to fill this animation sequence with our files. Yeah, for this we look on our right, and there we add the texture and add new image texture. We go again into the assets folder and see the folder with the images. There are 8 pictures. This is those light blue ones, and you just choose all of them and add. Those images are frame animations of a fire. How to make frame animations, I'm not going to explain it here. If you want to make a video texture, you want to create frames of something that is moving, and it should be as little frames as possible, and I think you just need to try around, and if you don't know how to do it at all, then just look for another tutorial which is explaining how to do frame animation. What I did for the fire, I found this like a website where you can download different textures that are for free, or photos that are for free or royalty free, which you kind of can use without violating copyrights. And I downloaded it as a video, and then I imported it as frames into Photoshop, and then I edited it in Photoshop. I edited the color, I edited amount of frames that I want to have, and then I exported layers as frames, and then I had those 8 frames. And actually I have 9 frames, because I have another folder where there are 9 frames of the same fire that is differently color edited, and we're going to also use it here to create some deepness. You'll see in the coming steps. Yeah, we just added those 8 frames, and now already if you press play, you already can see burning kind of jumping, and it's already looking alive a little bit. We want to take this FPS parameter, which means frames per second, is just to make it run a little bit slower. Okay, now we're going back into the fire animation material, and we want to continue changing the parameters. As you can see in our texture, there is now fire animation 1. This is our animated texture. Now it's in the material. We want to change the surface parameters. Try around as you like. I like the settings like this: 60 metallic, 25 roughness, and occlusion strength is 10. Okay, and the next fun part we're getting to is second animated, and we're going to use it in emission. Emission is a characteristic of material, as all of those characteristics you can see. We're going to create another new animation sequence and choose this other folder, here, new image sequence, go back into the textures and see fire 2. So these are this 9 frames. I have 9 frames, and they have different color, and we're also going to have the different frame rate, frames per second, so that it will create dynamics. So the fire not going to burn the same, but it's going to burn differently in the emission and in the albedo. Yeah, just going to create a deeper, some kind of like deepness in the in this material, and fire going to be like really burning from the inside. So as you can see in our assets part, the animation sequences folder now has another animation. We call it fire animation 2. Rename it, and you can rename things by pressing the right button. Yeah, otherwise you just double click it. So now we're going to the fire animation 1 again and continue changing our settings, and now we want to add environment. An environment is there to make things, to make our helm, as you can see, it's already reflecting a lot of things. It's reflecting light, but now we want to give it something to reflect. We want to give it a room, so it's like works a little bit like a mirror, and it makes it appear maybe more realistic or kind of fancy. For this, we will need a HDR image, and this one the one that you have in the folder, I downloaded here. You can also choose different ones called HDR Heaven, and it's different images. Yeah, but it has this special format also, HDRI. And as you can see now, we took this picture, and it already looks so much better. It looks so much deeper. You can also rotate your environment. Imagine that this is HDRI 360 picture. It's kind of like around your helm right now, and it's and the helm is reflecting a room around itself, which is coming from this photo of a studio that we've chosen. Yeah. So yeah, the last thing that we want to change will be the color of the emission that we forgot. And here I want to go for this green yellowy or like yellowy thing, and ta-da! It's really burning like a toxic fire. I like this effect a lot, and I got there through experimenting, of course, and everything everything works through experimenting. So yeah, feel free to try things around and try different settings. It's really fun. especially after you did maybe few of the face filters, you start understanding how this program works and what you personally can do, what you're interested in, and yeah. It's also only, this tutorial is only about face filters, but you can also make many other different things and yeah, just explore the potential. Anyway, now we're adding the hot mess, this text that's gonna be in front of the face when you just start the filter and when the mouth is not open. So we also parented to the face tracker, so it moves together with the head, and now we start adjusting it to just that it sits in front of the eyes. So we place the letters where we want them to be, and then we go into the material, and we don't need to create a new material anymore. We choose a fire animation 1 material that we already created, and as you can see, it looks as great as the HAU. So our next step is creating the fireball. First thing, let's add the object. We go into the scene, add object, 3D object, insert. You see it appears in the assets folder and in the scene folder. Let's go and delete the default texture that the fireball was imported with. We delete it, then we go into the scene, press the fireball, parent it to the face tracker. Also add the material, fire animation 1. Next thing we need to do, we need to rotate the ball because it's not exactly on the right position, because we want this eggy shaped form to be behind the head. So it looks like as if head is coming out of there. We're gonna go up, and in this upper little menu we're going to choose rotate, and gonna rotate this so that the egg is behind the head. Basically do as you like, but this is how I like the settings. We're gonna scale it again now and stretch it. What you can also do, you can just look on your right where it's written transformation, position, scale and rotation. You can just copy those. Great, so our fireball now at its place, and next thing I want to do, I want to make it invisible. So the last thing, tube's going to be our lasers in the eye. So we need to, again, go to the scene, add object, 3D object, choose the tubes, and parent it to the face tracker again. Then pull it up in the hierarchy of under the face tracker, so it is underneath the face mesh retouched, and rename it into left eye, and now you adjust it. You will need to choose the transformation rotation mode, and you pull it, you rotate it to 90 degrees. Then you choose the transformation and you pull the tube to the front, so it just shortly behind the eyes. As you can see, it is now placed in the very middle of the face, and we now need to transform it a little to the right and on top, so you see that it's coming out of the eye. Yeah, I think that looks great. Okay, and then you go to the material and again add fire animation, and look that at the beginning near the eye there is this line where the fire kind of starts, and you need to pull, we don't want to see this, so you need to pull the tube a little bit to the back so that this edge is in the eye. Now you just copy, you duplicate it, right click, duplicate, or Control D or Command D, and then you have this other eye and you rename it into the right eye, and then you transform it into the, yeah, you transform it to the right eye. Perfect. This looks great. Play, and it's beam lasering. Alright, so now is the time. So now we're done with constructing our scene. We have all elements that we need, and just some of them, the helmet, the hot mess, and the fireball, are right now invisible because we're going to build our patch, and we need to put the video on pause and get into working with the interaction, aka opening the mouth. Before we start, we need to create a little order in our assets. So I'll go into the assets and just clap all the subfolders like category, hot mess, fireball 2, close it by pressing this little arrow, and it's gonna look nice. Now you need to open the patch editor, and you open it by going to the view, show and hide patch editor. Then you take the face tracker and drag it into the patch editor. And you immediately see those 3 little patches appearing. So this is our, in a way, visual programming. You press the upper arrow of the face tracker and pull it out, and then type in eyeball, add patch. And you see it's already connected to the eyeball. Otherwise, you can also just click in the empty spot in the patch editor, type in eyeball, and then connect the arrows together. What we have here, there is a face finder, so it's a patch that is looking for a face through the camera. This is the face recognition. It's going into the face select, so if there are a few faces that it recognizes. As next, it sets a face tracker on the face, and then we are looking for an eyeball because we want our lasers to move around according to where your eyeball is directed to. So basically it means that if you look into the right, the laser is gonna also kind of rotate to the right. It's gonna follow your eyeball movement. So the next thing, we go to the scene view, just click once the left eye. And then immediately on the right side, you see that there are those properties, and there are those little arrows next to each of the parameters. So we're interested in position and rotation. Press little arrows next to them, and then they immediately appear in your patch editor. We're selecting the right eye in the scene on the left side again, and doing the same on the right side. We're adding this to patch editor and connecting the 2 patches, right eye position to right eye position, and left eye position to left eye position, etc., etc. Don't forget to save in between. So now we've connected these, and I see that I've made a mistake. The lasers are not coming out of the eyes anymore. So you go into the cylinder of the left eye, you open the left eye on your right side, and then you see that there is a cylinder, and you click the cylinder, and you just delete the position values of those cylinders. So now our eyes are good, and we need to make an interaction based on the mouth open. So you press the same arrow again, and then you pull the string out, and then you type in mouth open. This is an action. Mouth open, and select the mouth open. So how we're going to make this interaction work? We're going to play with visibility of the objects. So right now we have the helmet, hot mess, text, and the fireball invisible. We clicked away the visibility because it was easier for us to work like this. But we're going to use the same parameter to build the interaction. So this means that when the mouth is open, certain elements, when your mouth is closed, the helmet and the hot mess letters are there. And when your mouth is open, then the helmet and the hot mess layers are going to disappear or become invisible. But the fireball and the laser is going to become visible. With opening mouth, it's just going to switch the visibility of the object. So we're going to make all those things visible again. And we need to create now something that is called a null object. Null object is more like a group. To make it easier for you to operate, to apply some parameters, so I create an object that contains the helmet and the hot mess text. So basically this null object is going to be visible, this group of objects going to be visible when the mouth is closed. So as you see, right now there's no interaction yet because we didn't do anything in the patch. So now what we need to do, we need to press this arrow next to the visibility of null object called helmet and hot mess, and then you see it appears in the patch editor. So we have this parameter called mouth open, and what we wanted to do, we want to say the program, if the mouth is open, we do not want to see the helmet. We're going to do this with the OR value. means you pull out the string from the mouth open and you type in or. And then you type in and give this value called not. And you can add all this. And now the program knows if the mouth is not open, I'm gonna have the helm visible. But now, as soon as the mouth is open, the helmet and the hot mess disappears. Also, we forgot to parent the helmet and the hot mess null object to our face tracker. Otherwise, it's not going to follow the head movement, so please do that. The next thing we want to do, we want the fireball and the lasers to appear when the mouth is opening. To extend the possibility of interaction work, we're also going to add smile. So smile is also an interaction of the face recognition. Pull out this one string from the face tracker and you type in smile and you just connect it to this lower arrow at the or patch. Now we're going to make the fireball and the lasers visible by mouth open. So I select the fireball and press this arrow next to the visibility of it. Next thing we're going to create another null object in the add object, null object, and we call it eyes. And we're going to add both of the lasers, eye lasers, right and left eye. We're going to parent it into this null object. Then we need to parent the null object to the face tracker so everything is inside the face tracker and can follow the face. Then we choose the null object on the right side and then we'll look at the left, and on the left side we see again the visibility parameter and we click to this little arrow next to the visibility and you see that our eyes now appears in the patch editor. Go to this little or value and connect both of these patches, the eyes and the fireball, with the or. This means that when the mouth is open, then the fireball and the eyes gonna show up, and then when the mouth is not open, then the helmet and the hot mess gonna show up. So this is basically how all this interaction works. Let's just pause it for a sec. What I maybe would like to adjust here shortly are the lasers. I think they should be located a little further away. They should be more to the front because otherwise we actually do not see the fire animation. So I'm just selecting the left eye, the cylinder, and then I am pulling it with the transformation to the front, and then I'm doing the same with the right eye. And this looks good to me now. It looks like the fire is actually coming out of our eyes. Great! So now looks like it's ready. Check again, look at it again, see. So the next part we're gonna do, test it. You press this little menu in the lower left corner and there's send to connected device. So if you have Spark AR Player installed on your smartphone and you connect your device, your smartphone, to the computer and open the program, open the application on your phone, Spark AR gonna recognize it and it's just gonna send you your face mask to your phone so you can test it. If you also have this problem connecting your phone with a computer and you don't want to install Spark AR Player for some reason, then you have this opportunity to send it to Instagram camera. So you choose Instagram camera, send it to the app and wait until it uploads. While it's uploading, it's calculating how big your project is. This other little icon with the arrow that goes to the top in the lower left corner means upload your effect. So this is how you publish it. We're looking at this platform requirements, what you're interested in that the file size meets all requirements. It is important to keep all your assets really, really small to be able to upload it. So we save the project, we go to the upload, we see it's calculating size, all requirements are met. And you choose upload new effect and now it's uploading. And what you're going to do next, log you into a Spark AR Hub. Spark AR Hub is basically where you manage and monitor the statistics of how your effect is doing. You cannot upload the filter without the Spark AR Hub. So when it gets to 100%, Spark AR Hub page gonna open automatically. Sorry, it's in German. I hope you're gonna be okay because it looks absolutely the same in both languages. There's this effect detail. I choose the Alla tutorial. I choose the location where you want to publish it on Facebook or Instagram. I choose Instagram. Then there's this moment of naming it. Effect symbol is where you are uploading icon. We go to the assets folder, we go to the textures, and there's our icon, and we just edit. Check the legal agreement, check on the profile and the effect, and then you upload it. In the next step, we're going to need the video preview. Either you use the Spark AR player or you send yourself a link to Instagram camera through the program. You record it, you maybe edit it. It can't be longer than 15 seconds, and think about the sound on the back, if you want it or not, if maybe somebody is shouting loud behind you. Maybe you don't want this. Maybe you want even to create a particular sound for this, and yeah, let your filter play with the sound on the back. So yeah, just think about this kind of things. I've recorded my video. It's called Demo Hot Mess. I upload it. I select the category for sci-fi and fantasy. Select the preview picture of the video. This is the video that's going to be visible on Instagram when people preview your filter. Here you need to put a small description. I prefer to put a very technical description. Yeah, that's it. And now I think you check everything and then you just upload it for a review. And it's gonna get uploaded, and then it's gonna take time for getting confirmed. Hey, thanks for watching. We're actually done, and I hope that you are not too confused and that it was fun and you could learn something. And let me know if you have any questions. And thanks so much, Digital Feminism, for having me with this tutorial. And I wish you all a fun time with producing face filters, and looking forward to see those. So please find me on Instagram. It's ALLAPOPP, and tag me, or just send me private messages. I'm very, very curious what you guys gonna produce. Thanks so much, and bye.